So today we will talk about the passive and reflexive voices. You can also see the subtitles, subcategories. We will focus on each voice separately. Then we will have a quick reminder and details. Then we will do exercises. So let's start with the passive voice. And what is the passive voice and how it's used? When should you use it? And different tenses, like combination in different tenses. Okay, so in this title, you can see an active voice. That's a direct statement. Kedi fareyi kovalıyor. And in the other one, you can see the passive voice from the mouse's viewpoint, from the mouse's perspective. There's an action upon the mouse. In the active voice, you describe this action from the cat's point, and in this one, you say it from this one. Like there's a, it's like this. There is a direction of movements. Kedi fareyi kovalıyor. Fare kovalanıyor. I will also explain what all of these vocabulary are. So like cat, mouse, and kovalamak is to chase. So the cat is chasing the mouse, and the mouse is being chased by the cat. That's all about the passive voice. You can also see it in this visual, in this image. We change the position of the words, or in other words, we drop the subject and we simply talk about the object and what kind of action is being performed upon the object. There's no subject in a passive voice. So let's see the details. As I was explaining, a passive voice is a sentence structure in which the subject of the sentence is unknown, that's important, or irrelevant. When you don't know who did the action, or when you don't want to emphasize who did the action, you can use a passive voice. So now there's a comparison between the Turkish and English sentences. A different sentence. I sent a letter. A letter was sent. In this part, in the passive voice, who sent the letter? I don't know. Someone. Like a letter came in, but I don't know who. By whom. In the active voice, I know it. Who? I did it. And if you take a look at the Turkish parts, ben mektup gönderdim. I letter sent. And then in the passive voice, a letter was sent. This il suffix here is our passive voice. So göndermek, mektup, and again, is irrelevant or unknown. We don't know who. So in the passive voice, there's actually no subject, and the object is used in the place of the subject itself. There's a way to use the subject, but we will learn more about that later. For now, let's take a closer look on the il suffix because it's not the only way, or it's not the only suffix. There's one more suffix, il or in. And how do you choose between those suffixes? So we basically insert a set of suffixes. Actually, it's just two suffixes. But of course, depending on the vowel harmony, it can be four different options. So this is our table. This is our suffixes. The uppercase L, by the way, it's not a I, it's like L, like this. It can be il, il, ul, ül, and then it can be in, un, ün. This is the vowel harmony part. You can learn about this on Google. You can go to Google Drive and see the vowel harmony rules yourself. And how can you decide between these two options? Now that's the tricky part actually, but luckily there's a way to tell. And we basically take a look at the last letter of the verb. Now I will show you these examples. There are now these two tables. So if the verb ends in a consonant, you put il, ul, ül. If the verb ends in a vowel, you put in, un, ün. And quick reminder for those who don't know, these letters are our vowels. A, I, and then O, Ö, U, Ü. These are the vowels. If the verb ends with one of these here, you choose in. So let's do this together. I will write it one by one myself. So we have açmak. Açmak means to open. And I'm taking a closer look at the final letter. It's a ç. It's not one of these, so it's a consonant. If it's a consonant, I will pick il, ul, ül. So aç, mak, to be opened. To be opened. Oh, wait. To be opened. And how do I choose between ul, ul, ül? Like, why don't we use ül here? Again, that's a vowel harmony. After a, you need to use ı. So açılmak, to be opened. And bakmak, to look. And to be looked would be bakıl, bakılmak, to be looked. Okay? Yes. Now, when I already typed the answers, you can try. Don't worry about the spoilers. If you want to try, just go ahead and type it in the channel. I will also be typing them at the same time. So how would you say, like, sormak? That means to ask. Sormak, to ask. So sorulmak. You have to choose between these options, Havla. Not al. There's no al here. You have to choose u. Tamam. Güzel. So yeah, it means to be asked. And sevmek. Sevmek means to love. Let's go with this. It can also mean to like. Sevilmek. Exactly. To be loved. And yazmak, that means to write or to type. Yazılmak, to be written. Exactly. And göndermek, to send. Gönderilmek, exactly. You basically insert il because there's r at the end. To be sent. And next table, let's do that as well. This time, these are vowels like iste. So istemek, to want. İstenmek, exactly, is correct. İstenmek, that means to be wanted. To be wanted. Let me adjust the table to fill in the text better. Okay. Okunmak, yes, to read, and then okunmak to be read, I think. And söylemek to tell, söylenmek to be told. Sulamak is to water, sulanmak to be watered. Oynamak to play, oynanmak to be played. Like a game is being played. Bir oyun oynanıyor. And dinlemek to listen, dinlenmek. Yes, Jasmine, it can look confusing, but they are only spelled the same way, but they mean different things. Dinlemek to listen, dinlenmek to be listened. Like rest, the stem of the rest would be this. Dinlen, like this. But when the stem is this, it means to listen. Okay, so yes, that's how it works. You either choose il or in, but actually in this part, it's just n. So you just take a look at the last letter and then insert these options. Okay, so now let's see a few more examples and a bit more closer look about the difference between the active voice and passive voice. When should you choose which? Oh, not this. This. Yeah, Jasmine, you are right. It should just be N. That part, the N part is used in reflexive voice. I made a little mistake. For the passive voice, it's just N, no N, just N. But when it comes to the reflexive voice, we will also use them, and we will also use like N, in, un. Okay, anyway. Now, when should you use the passive voice? So, for example, as I keep saying, when the subject is unknown, you can see an example here. My wallet was stolen. Cüzdanım çalındı. So cüzdan here, that means wallet. And at the end like my. So my cüzdan çalındı. Çalmak to steal. But I don't know who stole it. Or I don't care who stole it. I am just worried about it being stolen. So yes, the object is the subject. Now the wallet does the action, or you can try to think of like in a figurative way. There's no subject, the wallet is doing the action. Yeah, the focus is on the object. Or again, a similar idea, but it's more like this. It's irrelevant. Sometimes you know, like there's a way to know, but it's irrelevant who did it, the actual doer. You just want to pay more attention on the action itself. Like party was cancelled. Now I know who cancelled it. The party or the house owner cancelled it. Or whoever is the host, they cancelled the party. Now it's known. There's an information, but I don't care, or that is not important here. The party being cancelled is what's important. I want to pay more attention to that detail. Party ertelendi. So ertelemek means to cancel. Ertelen to be cancelled, and D is the past tense. That part can change. In the next slide, we will see different tenses. For now, these options, these examples are in the past tense so far. Okay, and the last one, when you use formal speech and storytelling. Like a formal speech, I mean like an announcement at an airport or like public news on the TV, and then also in storytelling. Like, for example, this could be a story, like it could be a sentence in a story. Like, once upon a time, it is said that there was a family in this house. Bu evde bir ailenin olduğu söylenir. This N here is the passive voice. Like, it is said that the part from last week's lesson or 2 weeks ago, I think, the relative clauses or reported speech or subordination olduğu söylenir. It's olmak, there was, so you put all, do, söylenir. It is said that there's a family in this house. Or an example like this could be a line from a book, like theft is considered a crime. Hırsızlık bir suç olarak kabul edilir. So kabul etmek to accept or to consider. But when you use this in a storytelling or formal way, you put the passive voice and say it from a different structure. Hırsızlık, theft, bir suç, a crime, olarak, as. In Turkish, we need to insert as. Theft is considered as a crime. Kabul edilir. So, yeah, that's the main idea. That's the main way. If, like, based on these three contexts, you can use the passive voice. And now, quickly, let's remember the other tenses and see this conjugation table with other tenses, passive voice with other tenses. Like ben, sen, o, biz, siz, onlar. I, you, he, she, it. We, you, they. So göndermek, that means to send. I am using the same verb to send. And like I was sent. I was sent apparently, the mış past tense, as we call it the heard past tense or the inferential past tense. I am sent, or I am sent every time, aorist. I am being sent, gönderiliyorum. I will be sent, gönderileceğim. Or if I choose o, which is he, she, it, in Turkish we don't have different pronouns. We just say o. So it was sent. O gönderildi. There's no ending for o. O gönderilmiş. It was apparently sent. It is sent. It is being sent. It will be sent. Or this part, gönderileceksiniz. Gönder, verb root, verb stem, il, passive, ecek, future, siniz, you, plural or formal. Like you guys will be sent. How do you not get stuck in the middle when saying these words in real life? Well, sometimes we do actually. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes we can mispronounce things. But other than that, we are native speakers. We are born into this language. So it works as a charm. Or yeah, cennetten gönderildim. Or Tanrı beni dünyaya gönderdi. Like God sent me to the earth. Or I was sent to earth. Dünyaya gönderildim. Okay? So, next part. Now, this will make things a lot more easier, or maybe a lot more complicated, depending on how you look at it, how you see it. There's this passive agent concept. I choose this term because I saw it in some book. It sounded fancy, it sounded fun, and it sounded like a smart way to remember. It's an agent that reveals the doer, the subject. The same example again. Kedi fareyi kovalıyor. The cat is chasing the mouse. Fare, this time I have this part. Kedi tarafından kovalanıyor. So now I know the mouse is being chased by the cat. So this kedi tarafından is how we say by the cat in Turkish. Or basically tarafından is by in this context. You change the order. Actually kedi tarafından you can also put it in the beginning. Kedi tarafından fare kovalanıyor. Or fare kovalanıyor kedi tarafından. It is flexible, but in most cases, that's the most common way, the most common order. So basically, the mouse by the cat is being chased. That's how we are saying it in Turkish. Okay, so now, again, there are some details about this passive agent, about how that exactly works, because there are a bunch of suffixes in the conjugation. So let's meet this new term, passive agent. And the same comparison again, like this. So I sent a letter was sent by him. Ben bir mektup gönderdim. Onun tarafından bir mektup gönderildi. Onun tarafından, so who sent the letter? Well, I still don't know. Here I don't know, but there is this agent. There's this extra detail. It tells me onun tarafından by him, which technically means he. Maybe my dad, maybe my mom, my friend, whoever, just he or she. So, as I said earlier, it reveals the actual doer of the action. It shows us who the person is who is doing the action. It's the actual subject of the sentence. That part is not always mentioned. That is up to you. Like, you can still say gönderildi or onun tarafından. If you want to make clear who sent it, you can say by him. If you want to, leave out that detail, you can stick with gönderildi. It's up to you. And in the next slide, the most important part about this passive agent thing, it's the endings. How does it work? It works like possessive adjective, also known as my, your, her, his, our, their, etc. And then taraf. Taraf, in other contexts, it's like side, like Onun tarafı, his side, or sağ taraf, right side. Taraf is also a word. You can see it in other sentences. And if you think about this, the letter was sent from his side. It still makes sense. It was sent from his side. So onun tarafından, possessive personal marker. We will see this in a bit, and then dan. So dan is like from his side, from your side, from our side. Okay? So quick reminder on the possessive personal markers. So like ben, sen, o, biz, siz, onlar. Ben becomes benim. That means my. Sen, you, senin, your. And so on. He, his, or her, she, her. We, our, you guys, yours, or just your. Onlar, they, onların, their. And they choose or they use these endings. You need to memorize this table. Again, there are four options because it's four-way vowel harmony. Like benim, and like if you're talking about your car, like if you want to say my car, you will, the word for car is araba. So you will say benim arabam. Or if you want to say your car, senin araban. Okay? So that's what we are using here. The same endings. As I said, taraf means side. So my side, your side, his or her side, our side, your side, again about the plural or formal, their side. Correct, Jasmine. Bravo. And again, wait, I think I have notes here. So there are four options here. It's based on the vowel harmony. The vowel harmony rule says if there's a, you need to use and in taraf, there's always a. That's why you always need to choose the endings like ın, ı, ımız, ınız, ları. And the other one, as you can see here, passive agent for sen or o, like sen or o, ın, they can look the same. If I remove these, whatever they are called, this tire, like these dashes, tarafından. But like when you type it, when you say it, it sounds or looks the same, but they are formed in different ways. In this part, it's ın, because here, in o, the ending is actually ı, and is only there to help the connection between tarafı and dan. Okay, and final note, one more last note about the two options. Onlar tarafları. Like you can say onların taraflarından, or you can say onların tarafından. That is up to you. But I think from my experience, like by living in this country all my life, mostly I hear the singular option. Onların tarafından. There's nothing wrong with using onların taraflarından, but if you're talking to a friend, you can say tarafından. Okay, so actually, I realize this should be benim, just a little correction. Senin, onun, bizim, sizin, onların. Okay, and next one. Oh, we finished the passive voice. If there's a question, I can answer it. If you are still confused, we will do exercises. You can join that, and there will also be homework tomorrow, so you can still practice that. All clear. Great. So now, reflexive voice. What is reflexive voice? How does the reflexive voice work? And in different tenses? So yes, thank you everyone for joining and staying with us during the whole lesson. Tomorrow there will be homework. If you want to do more practice, you can take a look at the homework channel. If you have questions about this subject, you can always ask us in the questions channel. The lesson is recorded. Ders kaydedildi. Passive voice kaydedildi. You can find it on our Patreon page. And that's all. See you next time. See you next week. Haftaya görüşürüz. Kendinize iyi bakın. İyi akşamlar.